I can't believe I'm doing this on my channel. I want to talk about Cody Rhodes. If you're watching this and you don't know anything about professional wrestling, that's okay. I'm going to speak about this in a way that's universal. It's not just about professional wrestling, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock, that kind of stuff. I understand it's corny to a lot of you. You're going to say it's fake. I don't care. I'm talking about the storylines in professional wrestling. More importantly, I'm talking about the logic in storytelling in general. In order to really talk about that, I kind of have to explain who Cody Rhodes is, first and foremost. Cody Rhodes is a son of a legendary wrestler named Dusty Rhodes. He's a son of a wrestler in real life who was also a wrestler. So I encourage you, has family business work in wrestling, you should probably watch The Iron Claw to get a little gist of the seriousness of professional wrestling. So think about being the son of a legend. That's Cody Rhodes. Now, his father, Dusty Rhodes, never won the World Wrestling Federation Championship. He had it for like 10 minutes. They took it away from him, whatever. The story goes on. So Cody Rhodes joins World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. And he vows to say that he is going to finish his and his father's story. He's going to capture the championship, bring it home, and he'll never have to go back home empty-handed ever again. He'll be a champion, which he's never been before. Simple story, right? This man wants to go from a zero to a hero, from 0 to 100, from carrying no championship, from being a geek to being world champion, right? And not just any world champion. He wants to be the world champion. He doesn't need the secondary title like an intercontinental title. He's been there, done that. He doesn't even want the Seth Rollins title, the Raw title. He doesn't even want that. He wants the Hollywood Roman Reigns Championship because that's the one in canon. That's the big one. It's the real one. And the company treats it that way. Don't shoot the messenger. That's how the company treats it and books it. It is what it is. So there it is. That's the stage. Cody Rhodes wants to be champion, and he wants to beat the guy that's had it for over 1,200 plus consecutive days, Roman freaking Reigns. He's the badass of badasses. He's the tribal chief. He's The Rock's cousin. He's a cool guy. They've built this story for 2 years in storyline and in real life. And you'll find that there's a lot of overlap in professional wrestling. You can say that the matches are predetermined all you want. You can say it's glorified stunt choreography. I don't care. It's no different than a movie. It's real acting, and the matches are predetermined, but there is a reality to it where the audience relationship can kind of determine where stories go, right? So it's very interactive in that way. And that makes it feel real. So when it feels real, that's what people buy into, the reality, right? So in real life, the creatives have to come up with the decision to make Cody Rhodes win a championship at the end of the day. But here's the thing. What happens when he finishes the story? Nobody seems to be asking that. What happens when the story's over? He wins the championship. Ta-da! Then what? What happens? I think the writers and the bookers and the people that are in head of creative know this, and they're milking it for as long as they can because they can sell so much merch. They can sell so many tickets. They can put butts in seats. They can sell pay-per-views and bring all the metrics up with the chase alone. What's uncertain is what happens when Cody Rhodes wins that championship. Now, you can say it's inevitable. The fans are foaming at the mouth. They want this. They need this. They want to see their hometown hero. They want to see their guy win the championship at WrestleMania 40. It'll be a big moment for sure. And that's just it. It'll be a moment in time. But then what? I have a sort of very particular philosophy when it comes to storytelling and the relationship with finality, with closure. I'll use two shows as an example, two television shows. One was very popular in its heyday, and the other one is considered the greatest television show of all time, arguably. The first show I want to talk about is Lost. If you watched Lost, you know that it was a mystery show. How did they land here on this island? Is there a larger purpose? Why are there polar bears? There's a hatch underground. What is that about? There's a horse on the island for one episode. What is that about? People are whispering. Is it dead people? Is it like an alternate dimension? Are these guys in purgatory? You're asking tons of questions. Now, in my opinion, where Lost got it wrong was they set out and they went out of their way to answer these questions, and it wasn't very satisfying in the end. You got the answers. Oh, it's this guy that's doing the whispers. And this guy is the reason why they crashed on the island. And this person is the reason why everybody is here. They all have a larger purpose, and it's to protect the island and save the world. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. My point is, fans desired closure so much that the writers gave them their closure and they answered the questions instead of letting the mystery be. And you were left with a mediocre product, or at the very least, a polarizing one. So now I want to talk about The Sopranos, a show that had some mysteries and was very engaging and is often regarded as the greatest television show of all time. But it has an ambiguous ending. And this is a spoiler for The Sopranos. If you haven't watched it, stop watching this video because it's worth watching the whole thing through and experiencing it for the first time. I wish I could do that again. So stop watching if you haven't seen the ending of The Sopranos. For those of you that have, you know that it stops and it just cuts to black, and we don't know if Tony Sopranos lives or dies. There's no closure. It leaves you wanting more. The story ends, but it doesn't end in our hearts because we get to theorize. We get to create YouTube video essays about this. We get to talk about it at length. And you can say, yeah, but David Chase said in this one interview that Tony Soprano died. It doesn't matter. What's the canon of the show? What did the show do from curtain to curtain close? What did the show do? It left it open. And we're still talking about The Sopranos to this day. More so than we're talking about Lost, because Lost ended and it gave a satisfying conclusion for enough people and totally turned off 50% of the other people that probably were upset and were like, what a waste of time, right? I think that's what some people feel about Lost because you gave them closure. I suspect in professional wrestling, to bring it back, that if an audience got what they wanted and they got their closure, Cody Rhodes finished the story. He's the champion. He brings the title home to his family. He did what his dad could never do. He did it for the Rhodes family. That's the legacy. That's great for about a week. But what if he gets injured after that? What then? Does he defend the title for 1,500 days? Is that like the end game? Brother, there are no end games, especially in professional wrestling. The stories keep going and going and going. Even when you're dead, the story isn't over. Look at Dominic Mysterio. The story isn't over. Look at Cody Rhodes, still carrying the torch from his father. Dusty Rhodes' story still isn't over, even post-mortem. I guess I go on this rant for you storytellers out there and aspiring storytellers to tell you to milk it. Because if you're lucky, if you have this golden goose that's laying these golden eggs and you can milk a mystery and you can milk a chase for as long as possible, that's what people show up for. And I know on Twitter it's very loud and there's people yelling and screaming ad nauseum, finish the story. Who killed Laura Palmer? They need to know what happened to Tony Sopranos. Is Tony Soprano going to live or die? The question is the answer. That's what people show up for. That's what people pay for. It's what's on the marquee. That's what puts butts in seats, especially in professional wrestling. So, if you've made it this far and you're a professional wrestling fan, do you want to see Cody Rhodes finish the story? For me, I want to see the chase. I want to see them milk the chase for as long as possible. And yes, this Cody Rhodes, the human being, Cody Runnels, does he deserve that closure? Sure, maybe. But I think he knew what he was doing. This guy is a student of the game. This guy is a master storyteller. He has a black belt in geekdom. He studied the Star Wars. He studied the Star Treks. He knows what works and what gets in people's craw. I think it was a terrific marketing move to coin the phrase finish your story. They're putting it in the bloody video game, for crying out loud. Finish your story. It's a great idea. It keeps people motivated, inspired, interested to keep going, to keep watching. I think he knew what he was doing. But what I don't think he has in mind is what happens after. What's the moment after? What is the never ending chase? That's what makes baby faces interesting in professional wrestling. The good guys is the chase. Otherwise, they're just known for that moment. And I think Cody Rhodes deserves better than just one moment. I want to see how this plays out. I want to know how they're going to pull this off. And I'm here for the ride. I am not here for the destination. Keep the story going.